Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast with Cologne Talk. And
TJ talk sense.
today is a very special episode because we have our first guest on the podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my man.
What's up, everyone? My name is Anthony B. I go by what you guys know is probably ScentMyStyle, content creator, lifestyle, fragrances. Yeah, man, just happy to be here and chat it up with these two guys.
There
Yeah,
we
so
go.
so we've been discussing because this is episode number 5. We've only released one episode so far, and we've been discussing off the podcast who is going to be the first guest, and we was like, it has to be Anthony because he's probably our most biggest like how can we say
Inspiration.
inspiration when it comes to content creation.
Appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
He has probably the best quality videos in the fragrance TikTok community.
A
Hands
hundred
down.
percent. A
Thank you.
100%.
Salute to you guys.
And we'll go right off that. How long have you been creating content, man?
I started like lifestyle content back in I want to say 2021, mid 2021. As far as like fragrance related content, like really started taking it serious and actually putting my face on camera was earlier this year. I think it was around January or February is when I did the first video, which I think it was fragrance story time. I believe it was that one. And then it kind of like took off. It got positive reactions, and I was like, "Huh, I should probably do this more often."
So we all pretty much started the putting our face in videos around the same time. I put
Around
my
the
face
same
in
time.
the first video in February. You done it around the same time as all Cologne Talk. That's actually
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
We all
Yeah.
started around the same time. Yep.
So
Man.
you haven't really been creating content for all that long. If it's only, you say 2021?
Yeah, that's when I started I started the vlogs then. I'd always been into fragrances, but I wanted to step into like the lifestyle content.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what kind of prompted me to actually start creating content altogether was lifestyle content.
So if anyone goes and watches Anthony's content and you can see what you can achieve in what under 3 years time, what kind of tips or advice would you give to anyone who wants to reach your level of content creation? Because it's a different level.
Right. See, I've got a couple notes here. So first up, YouTube University. That's where you're going to learn the most. I spent a lot of hours, even to this day, tutorials, cameras, how to make the best of your current setup. So you've got that, but you also have to understand like to get like really good quality, you're gonna have to cut out a lot of things. For me, it was video games. I used to play Call of Duty a lot. Still love it, but it's just something I had to cut out because it was taken away from researching my craft and really trying to expand. Also practice. Practice makes perfect. I know a lot of the times like you may have a great idea, you may create a video, you may not like it, you may not post it, but the thing is you've developed the skill to learn how to edit, to learn how to shoot different angles, and just taking that first step because it's a lot of people out there that think of the great ideas, but they never really like put it into motion. So I like the motto, slow motion is better than no motion. And then you also have to be able to step outside of your comfort zone. Believe it or not, like even though I, did vlogs before, like in 2021, where I was in camera, actually speaking to the camera was outside of my comfort zone. So that's another big one, using what you currently have, because if you're waiting on the best camera setup or the best lighting, you could not produce any content for 6 months to a year. I actually heard you guys talking about that on the first podcast. Just, if you wait till the perfect setup, you may not do anything for the next year. So just, use what you have and then also invest in your craft too. So, if you want to take a course to learn, cinematography, photography, anything of that nature, like don't be afraid to invest in yourself if you're going to take it serious. I did it, the gear, the software, all that. So those are my tips for aspiring content creators.
That's amazing. I like that quote you done. Slow motion is better than no motion. And what we discussed on our last episode was basically if you wait, exactly what you said, if you wait for the perfect setup, like how Cologne Talk's got his fragrance stand behind him, the LED lights, that stuff might take you a couple years to get. Whereas if you started now with the little shelf that I've got behind me, in two
Right.
years' time, you could elevate to a level you didn't even think you could reach.
Exactly. What I have noticed is like starting the TikTok journey, Instagram is more about perfection, I would say. So it's easy to get really lost in Instagram because you follow like the biggest creators, verified accounts. Everything seems perfect. So, if you wait till you achieve perfection, you're already behind. So
Yeah. And we
yeah.
both discussed, we both obviously seen your Instagram post. The last one you put up was just you getting up out of bed, making a coffee, watching some TV, and still the edit is amazing. And you just basically said, look, everyone's got a different life. We all live and wake up the same way and go downstairs and eat. You can make a video literally out of anything.
Absolutely. I got caught in that cycle too. Like some of my biggest influences starting out with content is Ron Doug. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but if you think my edits are good, like you need to go check him out. So Ron Doug and then also Carlos Harris.
So were those your biggest inspirations for creating the content you're creating right now?
I would say as far as like lifestyle content and like really taking that first step. As far as like fragrance related content, I would say the perfume guy. I used to watch him like years ago. Drag Doc, Equality Fragrances, Chaos, like all the big YouTubers, Demi. I could go on, but yeah, those are my inspirations as far as like fragrance. Of course, you guys too.
Thank you, thank you.
Appreciate it.
We got me started in the fragrance game.
See, so you've been collecting fragrances for how long would you say?
I started taking it serious probably in 2014. That's when I bought my first niche fragrance. It was actually Red Oud by Montal.
Ooh, you started early with the niche.
Oh yeah. PJ, I heard you're 28. I'm actually 35. So
okay, so and Cologne Talks the baby. He just turned 21.
Yeah.
Why you gotta put me on the spot like that?
So we got 7 years between me and you, Cologne Talk, then 7 years between me and Anthony. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been watching videos for quite some time now.
Yeah. And for anyone who doesn't know, congratulations, you got a newborn baby.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
How's that going, being a dad?
It's different, man. We went from living in the city to, buying a house and then having a baby. So it really happened fast.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I wouldn't change it. It's taught me a lot. It gives me motivation to keep doing what I'm doing. So.
And how has it impacted on you making content? Because I see she's included in a few videos, which is nice as well.
Right. It definitely has slowed me down a little bit. Just having to spend, more family time, also spend time with her, helping out my wife. Plus I've got school going on too. So it's a lot to juggle, but I try to get it in when I can.
So you're currently going to school right now as well?
Yeah. Classes actually just started up. I'm at Georgetown University.
Do you mind me asking what you're going to school for?
Yeah, sure. Cybersecurity, actually.
Oh, okay. So what kind of cybersecurity? Like
so
what
the program, so the program is cyber risk management. But there's just so many different avenues in cybersecurity. You could do, hacking, digital forensics, all that, risk management. It's a lot of different things.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you got a lot on your plate right now, but yeah, you're juggling and balancing everything, which is good, man.
And I love how you said you do family time, but you also do your craft on the side as well. So you don't totally take out your content creation side when you're spending time with family. I always sometimes see your wife, your kid, and all that, and I love how you're always creating, even though you're spending time with the fam.
Absolutely, man. That kind of goes back to what I said earlier about just utilize your own lifestyle. As I mentioned before, I got caught up in that cycle. I'm like, oh, I can't film if I'm not, flying out to New York or like, taking cool or traveling to cool places and actually documenting that. You've got the beauty about cinematography is like you can make the most mundane thing look absolutely gorgeous. That kind of goes back to another tip of which you guys asked me before is like, pay attention to the movies, the TV shows, like the angles that they use, the 180-degree rule, where if we're talking, the camera's going to pan this way all across the right shoulder. Like you've got to pay attention to all that stuff and just kind of incorporate it into your vlogs, and you'd be surprised at how far you can go.
Yeah, because we was looking at one of your videos. It was a clip of you making a bed, and just you throwing up the mat, like the duvet over the bed. You've got 4 different angles. So how long does one of those kind of videos take for you to make?
Ah, man, if I'm out and about, like it'll take a day. There's been times where I film. This is kind of like a little secret, kind of like a tip, but there's been times where I film like over the course of a couple of days. I'll just throw on the same outfit. Um, but yeah, it can take a full day. It just depends on what I'm actually doing. But a lifestyle vlog can probably take anywhere from 5 to 14 plus hours, depending on the content.
What is your least favorite thing about creating content or the editing part of the content that you create?
Oh man, captions. I really hate captions. It takes so long. Because not all the time does the software pick it up. So you've got to like go back and edit and stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably my least favorite is the captions.
Especially with fragrance, man. The captions with fragrances is the worst thing ever.
Absolutely.
I feel
Whenever
like
you're,
my
whenever
whole
you're, yeah.
my phone's autocorrect is completely screwed just from how many times I've said a fragrance and it's like completely something else.
Yeah, yeah,
And whenever
they gotta figure out some AI for that for sure.
and whenever you say fragrances like Naxos by Zerjoff, it's never gonna pick it up correctly. It's crazy.
Not at all.
One question I've got for you as well, Anthony. Yeah, what I've found is, oh, well, I knew about it for a while, but I've realized the importance of music in videos. How important is that to make a good vlog? You would say?
It's very important. So let me paint the picture for you. So you go to a movie theater, right? You're watching the movie. Just imagine watching the movie without any sort of sound effects. You may not realize the sound effects to the T, but music creates some sort of suspense. Like a horror movie has a certain type of music to bring on a certain type of emotion. Um, just like a comedy has a certain type of uplifting uh, instrumental or music to bring about a certain type of emotion too. So it's definitely important. Um, I've been kind of like I like that SZA instrumental that I found. It's upbeat. It's not. It's very like balanced and in the middle, but it definitely helps kind of like captivate your audience subconsciously.
Yeah,
And just kind of like helps them focus a little bit more.
yeah. Because the way you said other people are your inspiration when it comes to creating content. When I watch yours, I'm like, damn, I need to step my game up a bit.
Literally, he was the biggest inspiration when I got my camera and all that and started upgrading my quality. He was my go-to inspiration for that. Like watching his video, I was like, damn, I'm trying to be that good.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Nah, you
So
definitely stepped it up though, both of you guys. I see you got the whips and the sound effects, CJ. I
Yeah.
noticed
yeah,
your I noticed your vlog with the camera. I can tell like iPhone quality versus camera, so I noticed that too.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was definitely a much needed improvement. I've always wanted to get a camera, and I feel like doing this TikTok has definitely stepped me towards getting one for sure.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
So how did you first get into fragrances then?
So I started like if you want me to give you the long version, I'll try to shorten it up. But my brother's dad, when I was around like 8 or 9 years old, he used to wear fragrances. He used to wear Lagerfeld, PS, Paul Sebastian. Those were like the main two. So he would actually let me wear those. Fast forward to high school. I was at the bus stop one day. I think he was a senior at the time. He sprayed Jupe. And like when I smelled it, it captivated me. And this was like back in, I want to say 2001. So back when it was still a thing. But when I smelled that, I was like, yo, what is that? So I had to get it. My grandmother, she bought it for me. And that's what like really started my love or my journey into fragrances. And I would collect over time, but like I really started developing a collection in 2014.
And how many fragrance have you got in your collection now?
I think I counted the other day. So full bottles, I think about 120.
Let's go. And do you have a current all-time favorite fragrance?
I do, and I actually bought it with me. I don't talk about this one because I like to talk about stuff that's attainable, not to like brag or boast or anything, but um, when stuff is like too expensive, it's not even
Oh,
worth talking
Man,
about. Like I want to help people, so
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 which one was that from Bodicea? Was that
Yeah, this is
Aspen?
sorry. This is Blue Sapphire by Boadicea, the Victorious.
Yeah.
that bottle is so nice. So is
Is
that
that
a blind buy or
No, not exactly. I had smelled Blue Sapphire a while ago at Neiman Marcus, and then I started watching like reviews on it. Um, I would say a noteworthy review is Equality Fragrances. I don't know if you guys have seen him, but he does the verse scents battles where two creators go head to head and they kind of discuss like a topic. So, for instance, the topic would be spring scents, and then each creator will list out their top 10, kind of like a rap battle, but
Yeah.
with
oh, that's
fragrances.
cool.
But yeah, I discovered his review and it kind of just intrigued me to get a decant. But funny story is like I bought the decant and I was like, you know what? Let me just get the bottle. So I found it for a good price and I pulled the trigger before I even got the decant. So
and
How do you
is
feel
that
about blind
yeah.
buying?
Say again.
How do you feel about blind buying versus
I
going
like it.
out and actually smelling a fragrance?
Nah, I like it. It is exciting. I like it better than just going out because it's a double-edged sword because if you want to collect fragrances, then blind buying is fun. If you want to only stick to fragrances that you actually love, then sampling is probably the way you want to go.
yeah. Yeah, and blind buying for a lot of people, they don't like. I'm in London, so you guys have seen the vlogs. I've got every
Oh
single
yeah.
shop, boutique in the world, so I can try everything. Like in half an hour, I can get there. Whereas loads of people don't have access to it. So yeah, blind buying, I don't really like it because if I don't like a fragrance, it's just a bit of a headache going and sending it back or something. But yeah, if you haven't got access to it, definitely that's all you can really do.
Yeah. But honestly, the trick to blind buying is that you have to know what you um like you've got to do a ton of research to the point where like you can actually develop like a list of notes that intrigue you. Watch a lot of reviews. So before I blind buy anything, I've probably watched 5 different reviews, maybe twice over, before I actually commit to a bottle of it.
That's why
Yeah.
Fragrantica is my best friend. I always like to look on there before blind buying.
Oh
And
yeah,
as well, for people who watch our content, say someone watches my videos and they see I love angel share, I like sweet, boozy fragrances, vanilla heavy. If they've got the same taste as me, they pretty much know if I'm gonna say something good about the fragrance, they're more or less gonna like it as well.
exactly. You've got to go with trusted noses in the
Yeah.
game. So but excuse me, but the biggest piece of advice to blind buying is like you really have to take 3 or 4 of your favorite fragrances and watch reviews on them, see if there's some sort of pattern with the notes, and go to Fragrantica, look up the individual notes. I kind of talked about this on one of the lives I did a while ago, but see what the description is of that note and see if you can actually pick it up in the fragrance. It may not be spot on, but at least you'll have some sort of idea of what it is about the fragrance that you like, and that'll kind of like guide you in that direction. But another pro tip is if you are going to blind buy, try to stick to the top 10 list, because when you start venturing out, as we know, niche perfumery, it's more of an artsy approach on fragrances. So you might get blindsided, but if you stick to like the mass appealers, as long as it's something you think you'll like, you probably won't go wrong.
Yeah, that's one thing I always did when I looked at people's top 10 fragrances. When I see the same fragrance in everybody's top 10, I'm like, it has to be good. So I always would buy it off the.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so talking about notes, you mentioned, do you have a favorite fragrance note?
Ooh, I can't say I have a favorite fragrance note, but I can discuss like a few notes that I like.
Yeah.
No particular order, but just as they come. I like rose, I like oud, I like citruses, so mandarin, lemon, lime, mint is also another note. Um, Ginger, tonka, vanilla. Let's see, what else am I missing? Any? Vetiver, patchouli.
Yeah.
All
Those are
great
some of
choices.
the notes that
Yeah.
are in a lot of different fragrances that we love.
Yeah. I feel like me and you have a similar taste in fragrances as well.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I saw your video on Ganymede, and I don't know, it's something about it, man. I just can't get with it. I have a sample of it, which I'm glad I did sample it, but what I actually do like by Quentin Vish is Voice au Bois Imperial.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit more of a soapier, fresher take on Ganymede. A lot toned down on the mineral side. So just something that I can actually bear.
Yeah, because I tested that Bar Imperial in Paris a few weeks ago, and I sprayed it. I think I sprayed it on my shoulder, which was the last space I had available because I sprayed everything all over me. And then I hadn't even unboxed Ganymede, or I hadn't unboxed it yet. So I got out of the shower and I could still smell something on me, and I was like, "That's Ganymede." And I was like, "No, it can't be. I haven't even opened a box, but they smell. I would say 99% similar, but I think Bar Imperial is a little bit more mass appealing."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
I wish I
definitely
loved Ganymede. I like the presentation about it. I appreciate everything about it. It's just something in it I just can't get past.
Yeah.
So we'll touch subject on layering fragrances. How do you do you layer fragrances? I know some people love layering fragrances. I personally don't do it that much. Do you do it?
I have, but I don't. It's not something I do every day. I feel like when it comes to layering fragrances, it's not a bad thing. I've did it before. I've enjoyed it, but take this with a grain of salt. Not to like offend anyone, but I feel like it gives you kind of like a false sense of the fragrance that you're actually looking for. Um, there potentially could be something out there that that kind of takes the two fragrances that you like and kind of puts it into one, or there may not be. But to each his own. I do it occasionally, but on an average day, no.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Say you layer a fragrance like Burlington 1819 that's got that mint in it and citrus, and then you layer that with like a vanilla diorama, which is vanilla heavy, and you love that scent. Why not just look for a minty vanilla fragrance just as it is?
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly. I will say this though, when it comes to layering, I do believe that you can layer fragrances like Oud for Greatness if you use that type of fragrance as your base, or like some of the oud fragrances from Roja. Not amber oud, but like the Dubai, Qatar, those you can actually layer those as a base and then spray like a citrus or something sweet on top.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for not to offend anyone again, but I feel like layering fragrances is more of a you see a lot of the female creators, they layer three, four different fragrances. You don't really see a lot of guys layering fragrances. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess maybe because a lot of our fragrances are heavier.
Mm,
I do feel like a lot of female fragrances or female marketed fragrances have a lot of rose in it.
yeah.
So I feel like it's a little bit easier to kind of layer a rose fragrance with something that complements it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
always see
100.
Demi Rawling like spraying on four different fragrances at the same time.
I know, right?
And she does it like from head to toe. I'm like, I could never.
Oh yeah.
She does about 75 sprays, but when you've got over like 1,000 bottles, you can pretty much do what you want.
Exactly. My wife says that too. She's like, why are you spraying fragrance to go shoot basketball? I'm like, because I like to enjoy it. I have so many that
Yeah.
these times that I actually get to enjoy fragrances.
Is
Yeah.
your wife into fragrances as you are, or she's not that deep into it?
No, she likes them. She has a few, but she's not like really into it like me.
Does she
But
have a favorite on you?
um,
One that like you
when we
wear and
first,
she loves every time?
yeah, probably. I know like a long time ago, she liked the EDT version of, excuse me, Blue de Chanel. She likes that. She also liked La Mole. Nowadays, she kind of she'll I can't like really recall which ones she likes because I mix or not mix, but I wear so many different ones that
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to keep track of. I should probably know that though. You guys are gonna get me in the doghouse.
Yeah, she doesn't have to watch this episode.
Right.
It doesn't come. This episode doesn't come out for a little while, so you can check in the
Okay.
meantime.
We'll edit it in. We'll come back, same t-shirts, everything. We'll edit it back in.
Okay. I'll make sure I'll wear this too.
So
So
what's
new
your yeah,
releases.
go on.
Are there any new releases that you've seen that have caught your eye that you want to get ASAP or no?
A couple new ones that did catch my attention. So of course the new PDM, is it out there or out there?
Yeah, Altair, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that one. Also, of course, Lamal Elixir. That's one. There's a couple others from the Nishane X lineup. Oolong Cha, Hasibat X. So those two. I haven't did the video yet, but I did pick up, or I got sent to me Fan Your Flames X, and then also Ani X.
How do you like
12
those?
out of 10. 12 out of 10 is easy.
Better than the originals?
To be fair, I've only smelled Ani once. I didn't really spend like much time at all with it, but from what I hear, people from the few reviews that I've seen, people do like Ani X and Fan Your Flames X more.
Yeah.
Than originals.
So with the X line, is there a lot of people said they're just the same, but they've just got the X on it. It's just like a different branding. But is there actually distinct notes you can see in the fragrance where it's different to the original? Or
From the reviews that I've seen, yes. For instance, Ani X, you still get the vanilla, but they added like citruses to it to brighten things up a little bit, and it's more like a candied citrus. So in the video, I kind of talked about it, but to me, it comes off like a lemon meringue pie or kind of like an orange cream, kind of like ice cream. Beautiful. And then Fan Your Flames is all about like coconut, rum. What else? It has like this very kind of like slight kind of minty kind of vibe in there too from a few green notes. So that one's really nice too. It's kind of like a darker version of what's that fragrance? Creed Virgin Island Water.
okay.
Not exactly the same, but it's in that same kind of arena, but darker and kind of geared more towards fall, winter.
I need to get something from Nishani.
Yeah, I used to have Nishane Annie. I ran through the 50 ml bottle of that, and I swear in about 2 or 3 months.
That's probably
So
my
good.
next pickup.
Yeah, but you guys, like, it's just weird how us here in the UK, we get fragrances at a weird time. Then you get it. Like Cologne Talk just picked up Jean Paul Gaultier Lamar Elixir like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I had that like 4 months ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm jealous of the UK. You guys get a lot.
Yeah, they already have all there in stores.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just got it, yeah.
And I saw you didn't you get a few fragrances from Ex Nihilo as well, Anthony?
I did. Yes. I'm actually working on getting those reviews out. So I have 6 total. Yeah, I did the video on it, but yeah, the Ex Nihilo is really good.
Yeah.
Very light, very airy. All are like signature scent worthy, but the odd and satisfying thing that I find about the fragrances. So, for example, like Explicit, Vesper Glitz, Gold Immortelles, they all smell similar, but they're also different. So they all kind of have that sweet, kind of airy kind of feel to it, but each one still smells different than the next.
Yeah. So what's your favorite, if you've got one, favorite fragrance house?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
yeah, that's tough.
Because we know Cologne Talks is what Zerjoff is your favorite.
Zerjoff. Can't go wrong with Zerjoff. I absolutely love that house.
I would probably have to say it's got to be between MFK and then also PDM.
Okay.
When I get the chance to smell more, I do feel like Boudicca the Victorious will be up there, but I've only smelled, I want to say 3 from the line so far. But each one that I smelled, the price justifies the fragrance.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for. I can't really justify spending, 1,000. There are groups on Facebook that, sell it for less, but even at retail, if you had the money and you were to buy one of those fragrances, to say, hey, because it performs like this, like you get what you pay for. Also with MFK and PDM too, like almost every single fragrance that they have is mass appealing, easy to wear, easy to like, and damn near every fragrance is just close to a 10.
And where do you
about
buy most?
go
Go on,
ahead,
go
go
on.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, where do you buy most of your fragrances from? Here in the UK, we don't have many discounters. Do you buy on discounters or do you get it direct in store?
I do a little bit of both. I've used fragrancebuy.ca. Joma Shop is another one. I haven't picked up anything from FragranceNet in a while, but then also the retail stores, Neiman is probably like one of the main ones that I've bought like my MFKs at. I've got a fragrance from Lucky Scent before, ZGO Perfumery out in San Francisco. So I do a little bit of both.
Talking about MFK, that video you did on Oud and Mood, that's probably one of the biggest reasons I wanted to get it. The way your storytelling about how you got the compliment and the fragrance to describe it, that video absolutely blew up. That was probably the first video I watched from you, and it literally attracted me to all your other videos.
I didn't think
I
it was
think
going to be that good because it was so long.
because I'd seen a couple of your videos before, but after I saw that video, I just hit the follow. I was like, this guy, he edits a video beautifully. He tells a story even better. I was like, yeah, this is my guy, man.
Yeah, the storytelling was on point. It was literally like I wanted to watch the whole video. I was going through it and I was just like, I want it now.
I appreciate that. And that's like one of the other things that kind of like got me into fragrances too. From like the OGs on YouTube is like the stories that they tell with the fragrances. Like your fragrance did what? Like it smells like it, it got this type of attention. Like, yeah, I definitely need to try that.
Yeah. And so for you looking down the road in the future, what is your kind of goals for everything? TikTok, YouTube, vlogging, content creating in general?
Well, I would say for content creation as a whole, I definitely want to get into YouTube at some point. But I would say I want to get more into the lifestyle content, but also to bring fragrance with me. Um, I don't think fragrances get enough love. Everyone wears them, but there aren't really a lot of creators that talk about fragrances. It may seem like it on TikTok, YouTube, but in the grand scheme of things, of all the other content that it is out there in the world, I feel like fragrance really isn't one of the ones that gets the attention that it deserves. So yeah, and also I love lifestyle content too.
Yeah.
I just happen to be a fragrance addict.
We all are.
Me and Cologne always talk about this, and I think I've commented on your videos loads of times. If I was a brand, I don't care what brand it is in the world, I am paying Anthony B ScentMyStyle to create a video for me.
Talking about that, do you ever do like recording for like let's say weddings or something and you do that on the side? Is that something you do or no?
That's another thing that I'm also considering as well too. Not necessarily weddings, but just seeing how to venture out and do like professional style videos. That's a different beast. So it's definitely going to take some research on the business side, also the filming side, the equipment. So good
Yeah,
question.
I seen that one video you did with Alta and Aqua Joe. Like you went to the beach, you did everything. I was like, or well, it wasn't a beach. I don't know where it was
The
exactly.
marina. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you went all out and you took the pictures, all that. I was like, yo, this literally is a great ad for that fragrance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
We was talking about this before. Are you going to be going to ScentSploit in December?
I want to. I really want to. I'm gonna try to. So my only thing with that is like that's right when classes are finishing up. So like right at the tail end of December, that's like my last two classes. So as long as I can like plan that part out to get my assignments in, I'd love to go.
Yeah.
We'd love to see you there. Hopefully TJ is going.
I'm 90% going. So yeah, that would be crazy. If all of us guys were there, we do a podcast in person as well.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We'll be like, remember the first ever episode we did with a guest? Now we have him in real life.
So you see when we hit you up to jump on the episode, was you nervous? Because we was talking before and we was like, ah, damn, we're a little bit nervous for this.
A little bit, yeah. I've never like really experimented with like lives too much. And then let alone a podcast that you know you guys have big platforms, bigger than mine. So it's just a lot of people that's going to see it. So yeah, I would say yeah, I was a little nervous.
That's
Yeah.
something I mentioned earlier. I was like, you're probably one of the most underrated channels in fragrance TikTok.
Facts.
Appreciate that.
You definitely like when I watched that MFK video that I said before, I was going into your page, I was expecting like big following. I was like, how is this guy only at like 20K? I was like, this guy has top of the notch quality.
It just like sometimes it can take a while to produce, especially on the editing part because Cologne Talk, I'm sure like when it comes to like a camera versus your iPhone, like there's just so many things you got to get right. The editing, you've got to actually upload it to a computer, um, and just all that stuff. So it can
Yeah,
be time consuming.
when I used to use my phone, I would definitely be putting out more videos than I would now because it does take a lot more time and getting the lighting correct and all this because that's literally an important part when the camera is just looking at you. If the
Right.
lighting is not right, the video is just not gonna work out.
For sure.
But definitely, it's not all about the quantity of videos you put out. The quality is what's most important sometimes. So yeah, the quality of your videos are top tier. I hope one day I'll get to that level.
Oh man, you will. I don't have a doubt.
You're already there, TJ. Remember that one video, didn't
I'm trying my
Oh
best,
yeah.
man.
I saw the video where it was like you either stepped over it or under it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
sort of like masking. Yeah, that was dope.
I'm dropping a little vlog today in about an hour's time after we finish up with this. And in the first 5 seconds, I'll do a little transition. So I need your approval. So look at that video when I drop it, yeah?
Will do. I got you.
we need the seal of approval from Anthony.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming on here, Anthony. It has been a pleasure, man. Our first official guest on the podcast. And there's no better choice than you, man. Absolute legend. Everybody, if you do not know who Anthony is, go check out his page. If you want to let them know your socials, Anthony, go for it.
Thanks, man. So first and foremost, TikTok is ScentMyStyle and Instagram is the same, ScentMyStyle. Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. I look forward to, building with you guys in the future. And I
Always,
hope
man.
I can get up to Scent Explore and all three of us can kind of link up, make some content, do another episode. But in the meantime, good luck. Keep killing it on your socials.
I appreciate it, brother.
We are the future of the Fragcom. So let's just, put the foot on the gas.
Yes.
And
I'm feeling
TJ, if you
hyped.
have
I'm
anything-
feeling yeah, I'm just feeling
Go for
super
it.
motivated and hyped to just be talking to you guys, just bouncing off each other. So yeah, I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah, thank you for being the first guest, man. You definitely built a pave or a road for us to other guests when we invite them on and all that. And it was an amazing time. Definitely a memorable time as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Best of luck to you guys.
Always,
Thank
brother.
you.
Everybody,
Shout out to the guy Anthony B, and thank you everyone for listening. Our first guest, episode 5. And what do we say? Love for the love, my people.
love for the love, my people.
Love for the love, my people.
There we
Let's
go.
go.